Today I'm going to talk about what are known as the gunas in Sanskrit, the ancient Indian language. So the gunas are the modes of material nature, and there are three of them. If you study yoga or practice yoga or study any Eastern psychology or philosophy, you will inevitably run into the gunas. So what I often do with my videos on this channel is I read to you things that I have written. I've written many blogs and I've written a few books. I've spent a lot of years at a computer recording the things that I have come to understand through my research and study and meditation. So I also understand that people don't really like to read that much anymore, so I thought that on my channel I would read them to you. So thanks for listening, and consider subscribing if you would like. So this particular lecture, blog turned lecture, is called Living in the Sea of Gunas. And I have a guided meditation at the end that I will give to you and bring you through. So let me start with an example of my own experience with one of the gunas and how I see it now that I have retrospect. So I remember as a kid at St. Mary's Catholic School, my best friend Tamara and I would leave our classroom earlier than the other kids to go over to the empty church to set up for the music for the weekly children's mass. We played guitar and sang, and we would be so off the chain excited every week, like out of this world giddy, over being able to get out of class early, to be alone in the church and be silly, and the anticipation of leading the music. Of course, we couldn't be the types to be really physically bouncing off the walls because we were in Catholic school. But inside of myself, I was so excited every single Friday that we were going to do this thing, that we were going to be up there singing. We were going to giggle and look at everybody and be alive. At some point, we would get so anxious during this process that the old fight or flight would kick in and we'd have to rush off to the bathroom. And in the bathroom, we would just laugh some more and mindlessly relish in this mood that we didn't even realize we were really in. It was so strangely fun. But now I look back and wonder, what was I so excited about? What was really the big deal? What was happening to me? I was in a little tiny town, in a little church, a little person, a little guitar, and there I was going off the deep end with this emotional excitement. It is the same surge of nerves, although no longer so all-consuming, that to some extent I can still experience to this day. And here it is. It's called the passion mode. Rajas. R-A-J-A-S. It's one of the gunas. Rajas is the passion mode. It makes you feel alive when those hormonal juices in the endocrine system are deposited into your bloodstream and you feel that emotional jolt into action. We often call it happiness, motivation, mojo, nervousness, elation, anticipation. So I was an excitable little child. I mean, how could someone feel that much joy, completely sober, in totally mundane circumstances, yet be so drunk with passionate energy over a nearly nothing experience? Because that energy exists in this creation, and our bodies, minds, and senses are made to make redundant use of it. That's why it happened every week. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna tells us that there are three modes of material nature, and they are called gunas. They are this mode of passion, and the mode of depression, and the mode of clarity. Passion on one side, depression on the other side. clarity in between. You're always in one of these modes. One of them is always dominant in your life. And they can switch, even just during the course of one day or 1 hour. The dominant guna can switch within you. So you are either in the mode of passion, of some form and type and degree, or you are in the mode of depression, of some form, some type to some degree, or you are in the mode of clarity, some form, some type, and to some degree. In chapter 14 of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna states that he is about to explain what he says is the highest information of all knowledges, the very best. He states that once this information was realized by yogi philosophers, they went away from the corrupt material world to the supreme perfection, to a heavenly world. The Bhagavad Gita translation by Michael Beloved, chapter 14, verses 5 through 11, say this about these gunas, the modes of material creation. Clarity, impulsion, and retardation are the influences produced of material nature. Clarity, impulsion is the word that he's using for passion, and retardation is the word that he's using for depression. Same thing. These are the influences produced of material creation, of material nature. They captivate the imperishable soul in the body. O strong-armed hero. He was talking to the warrior Arjuna. He goes on to say, regarding these influences, the clarifying one is relatively free from perceptive impurities. It is illuminating and free from disease. But by granting an attachment to happiness and to expertise, it captivates a person, O sinless one. So he's explaining how each of these operates, or how it looks, and then telling us what the problem with it is. So know that Krishna goes on to say, know that the impulsive influence, the passionate influence, is characterized by passion. It is produced from earnest desire and attachment. This mode captivates the embodied soul by an attachment to activity, to doing stuff, getting stuff done. And know that the depressing mode is produced of insensibility, which is the confusion of all embodied beings. This captivates by inattentiveness, laziness, and sleep. The clarifying influence causes attachment to happiness. The impulsive one causes a need for action, but the depressing mode obscures experience and causes attachment to negligence. He continues, this is still Krishna. When predominating over impulsiveness and depression, clarity emerges. Depression rises, predominating over impulsiveness and clarity. Similarly, impulsion takes control over depression and clarity. See how when one is on top, it subdues the others, but it flips and changes. He continues, when clear perception, true knowledge is felt in all openings of the body, then it should be concluded that the clarifying mode is predominant. So here's the meditation. Get into a comfortable position. Make sure your body's comfortable. Close your eyes. Turn your attention into yourself. Bring all of the attention that usually is flowing out of you into you. Retract it. Become very self-aware. I want you to go into yourself to try and sense out each of these modes because they're all present in you right now. The potential is there for each of them to be dominant. The potential is there for each of them to be felt by you right now. So let us start with the mode of passion. Keep your eyes closed and remember what it felt like when you were excited about something, nervous about something, overjoyed about something. Remember how you felt. That's the mode of passion, that feeling. You remember that surge of that happy hormone as it moved into your system and lit you up. Now let us consider the mode of depression. Keep your eyes closed. Be very self-aware of your own personal energies, the energies you live in, the energies that comprise your body and mind. Think about when you felt sadness, depression, fatigue, run down, hopeless, pointlessness, lethargic, heavy, stagnant, slow-minded, foggy-minded, inert. Remember that feeling? That's the guna of depression, the mode of depression. You know it. Now let's consider the mode of clarity. Think of how you felt when you felt peace, inner peace, balance, clear-mindedness, quiet-mindedness. Think of a time you felt relaxed, steady, stable, balanced, no anxiety, no nervousness, no emotion. That's the guna of clarity, the mode of clarity. We identify the modes within us because they are all there. They operate us all the time. They are the puppeteers of your life. They control you. They're part of the matrix. We could say that they are the matrix. They're the modes of the matrix. They are the environments of mind that you enter, the repetitive rooms and places that the self gets drug into time and time and time again, and somehow has to bear the burden of the resultant debt, karma, acquired through those actions. So we live in a sea of influence as the self, and we are responsible for the actions of those influences. That's the complication of karma. And pullum. Karma is the action, pullum is the result. For a person truly interested in yogic transcendence, this has to stop. This debt acquiring and going into these rooms or environments over and over again, going like a pendulum between depression and happiness and depression and passion, happy and sad, energetic and lazy. So as the observing self, we do this inventory of what is within us, what surrounds us and enfolds us, what protects us and what destroys us. We categorize it, we get it together, we itemize it, and we put things in order inside of our own psyche. So maybe we too can get to the place that Lord Krishna called the supreme perfection. So that's my talk on the gunas: passion, depression, and equilibrium. Clarity is a state of equilibrium. So I encourage you to take this inventory within yourself. Go in and itemize. Sense out the passion guna. Sense out that depression guna. And find that stable equilibrium and locate the clarity guna. So let me tell you real quick, because I only told you about the passion guna being called rajas in Sanskrit. And you can say rajasic, like her energy was very rajasic. Her energy was very passionate, rajasic, rajas. The depression Sanskrit word is tamas, Tamas. You could say tamasic. His energy was so tamasic. He was so tired and so heavy. He felt so stagnant. He was tamasic. Or you could say that she was full of peace and stability and equilibrium. She was in the mode of clarity. And the Sanskrit word for this clarity is sattva, Sattva, sattvic. Her energy was so balanced and peaceful. She was very sattvic. Just wanted to clarify those Sanskrit words so you have them. Thanks for listening. And again, if you like the content, then please consider subscribing.